Recently, I was looking up scriptures to send to my son, who is a recruit in the Marines and he's in boot camp. And as I was looking up scriptures, I came across this one passage that really spoke into what I'm going through right now. Because a lot of times when I hear things preached or in regards to the Bible, they use scripture in regards to tangible things or things that you can see. And so in this area of my life, I was having a hard time taking the scripture and having faith and hope and trusting God through it all. And so as I read this passage, it just really spoke to me in my pain, saying, I need you to walk in faith in this pain and everything. And I know how it's going to be. I know what you're going through, not how it's going to be. I know what you're going through, Wendy, in regards to this pain. And so I just wanted to read that to you, that verse. It's Isaiah 42:16. And I will lead the blind in a way that they do not know, in paths that they have not known. I will guide them into light, the rough places into level ground. These are the things I do, and I do not forsake them. And one of the things is that in the pain, you're actually blind. You don't know what is to come. You don't know how God is going to heal you. You don't know what is he going to do in regards to what has been done to you. You really don't. So you have to walk blind. And it's kind of hard because you just don't know if God has more for you. And he says he does, but all you can see is your pain. And so truth be told, I'm blind and I'm having to just walk in a dark situation for faith. And so it went on to say that you don't know the path to follow, and he'll guide you and he'll lead you into the light. And so sometimes we don't understand why God has us walking into pain or walk through our pain to the light. I mean, we're used to getting a Band-Aid out, putting some Neosporin on the sore or whatever and moving on. But, he, on the other hand, has us walking, believing, having us, wanting us to believe that there's more. And that can be challenging at times, especially when the hurt is still all around you. It's inside of you and all around you. And so you really have to just believe that he has more for you. This is one of my favorite parts that came out of it. It says, I will guide them into light. But then it said the rough places into level ground. And when I thought about that, the rough places into level ground, I thought about how tore up inside I am and how at times the pain just like eats at me, and it makes me want to roar at people, but he's gonna take that hurt, and he's gonna take that pain, and he's gonna level it out where it's not gonna be anymore. But the key is, it goes back to the top verses. I gotta walk blind. I gotta walk in his path. I gotta let him lead me in the dark into the light. And then he's going to take it, and he's going to take those rough places, and he's going to level them out. And then it says, these are the things he does, and that he doesn't forsake us. And so he's not going to leave his promises, and he's not going to leave us. He's going to be right there with us in all of it. But we have to hold on, and we have to believe him regardless of what we see, regardless of how we hurt, regardless of how many years it has been. And one of the things that I was reminded to kind of help me get through this is that about David and Saul. When David first started working with Saul, he was Saul's basically right-hand man. He was his harp player, and he Saul had to trust David. He had to. I don't know, because David kept the tormenting spirit away by playing his harp. So, Saul had to believe that David was some type of security blanket for him or something. And so he had a lot of trust. He did David good. He was good to David. And then as God prospered through David, Saul was like, you know what, David, you got something that I want that God didn't give me. And you know what, I'm starting to get jealous, and I'm going to, attack you. And then for 10 years, Saul chased David in the wilderness. But it was in the end that all that was preparation for him to be a king. And I guess my thing is that if you really look in the Bible and think about some of the people that God used in big ways, they always had a long development stage. It was never quick. And I think that we forget that a lot. And that we forget that we're not alone, that there's been others before us that have had long development stages to go through, and David was one. And he needed those stages to be king. And he needed Saul to betray him, and he needed Saul to chase after him, and he needed all that because God had something bigger on the other side. And so when I don't want to let go of my pain, or when I don't want to walk in faith, I just hear God saying, Wendy, I got something bigger for you. I got something bigger for you. But you got to let me develop you. And so I guess I share all this because if you have pain that you don't want to face, or that you're having trouble facing, I just challenge you and me to grab hold of whatever verse. But right now for me is Isaiah, I don't know, it's getting dark, I can't see, 42:16, and hold tight to it and believe God in the promises, because right now he's telling you this is what you're going to go through. I'm telling you this is what you're going to go through to get to that, to get to that place you want to be. And so how can you not trust a God who's telling you beforehand what he's going to do? And so I know it's not always easy, because you wonder, is God going to really come through? Is he really going to come through on his promises? Is he really going to come through and do what he says he's going to do? And can I really trust him this time? But the answer is yes. But you and I, have to walk in faith in order to get there. So I pray that we have enough courage to walk the path that God has before us.